Hey everyone, and welcome to Atlas Insights, where we look at the customer service department within Trilogy Software and our AI-first approach to both customer service and automations in general. Hi everybody, and welcome back. In today's episode, we have Munawar, who is an L1 from the customer support team, and he is going to be showcasing his product that he developed called Wingman. It is a tool for assisting in the day-to-day job that is the L1. And he's going to show how it both helped his metrics, but also then how we maybe deployed it to the rest of the team and how it's now being used by others as well. So welcome, Munawar.
Hi, Colin. Happy to be here. I like how you said maybe, because it was kind of a maybe. There was a pilot, and it's sort of in the left lying in the middle somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool little program, and I kind of use it every day. So it's super useful to me.
Cool. Yeah. No, and I mean well, I mean the metrics themselves speak for it, but it's very, very useful, and it kind of allows you to. It's that thing we always have: focus on the important stuff, focus on the 80% that makes the difference, and not the 20% that doesn't. Yeah. Well, sorry, the 20% that you do that makes 80% of the difference. That's what it allows you to do, I think. So very good. Okay, so I suppose maybe give us a brief overview of what inspired you to create the product, and then how you went about it.
Right. So, well, I had a workflow as an L1 agent in Trilogy. What we do is, what was it? I think back in August, you guys bought us ChatGPT subscriptions. And before that, like, I'd seen ChatGPT come out. I tried a couple times, but not really used it as such. And then with the subscriptions, what I started doing was I just have GPT write me a PR. And I found, hey, if I kind of pause the entire conversation that I'm having with a person, and then give ChatGPT, say, a clue, say, okay, you got to reply to the last message here and say roughly something to the effect of XYZ, then it would produce like a fairly good PR, capture all the context from the conversation, and kind of shortened the amount of time it took me to do that. And I was kind of happy with that, but it was a lot of like window hopping. So I'd be in Zendesk, then I'd copy paste, and I kind of just like I did a bunch of stuff to make that whole thing more efficient. I'm not sure if you know about. Do you know about Wingman? It's like a Chrome extension, which kind of gives you Vim bindings inside of Chrome, which is pretty cool. So like you quickly get to like highlight stuff with /, and so I was doing that, I had like do /, okay, copy paste from the top of the conversation, and I figured, okay, so this is two problems I had. One is, well, almost everybody sort of uses Magical because we produce a DS, right, for everybody listening. Guys, the way we work is we have a doer QCer kind of mechanism. So person does the handles the ticket and kind of also gives a lot of the context and um, the thinking process, as well as, okay, here's what you need to do with this ticket, which could be like a number of actions. So we put all of that into a DS, post that as an internal note, and then a QCer kind of QCs all that, and then presses the trigger on sending it to the customer. So I was like, okay, so there's a bunch of these DSs and like so many products and so many variations to how that DS gets formatted. So Magical really wasn't cutting it for me, because I was like, okay, cool, but this time around, I also want to capture XYZ, or like have a ticket number in there, have like a different JIRA in there. So I wrote, essentially what I wrote was a scripting tool in Python to kind of take and automate the DS. And so this was without the ChatGPT or like using any kind of AI backend for it. But then I added a step where it would just kind of process the PR also. So that was great. Yeah.
Cool.
It
And
went
so,
great. I mean, my expectation was it would like reduce the time to do it a little bit, but somehow like just having it on like a shortcut just really
mhm.
helped.
Cool.
Because then you figure out ways to like, just kind of use it in different ways.
Okay. And this is the version now that kind of you have sitting alongside your your Zendesk window kind of at all times that populates and kind of takes you there.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
It's a terminal program. Just use Python and runs in terminal. This is like using the Shootles Python library.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
colorful as well, so it's got that marketing plus as well.
All of
Um,
it escape codes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I suppose as well, like to kind of show people what an internal note looks in our ticket. Like this is what we have. And we talked about it when we were talking about the Atlas L2 bot last week. Like our tickets are extremely well documented compared to any company we've ever imported or any company I've ever seen tickets for. Our tickets are supremely well documented. So that is great for everything coming afterwards in terms of trying to solve a ticket. But for the person who's actually working the ticket the first time around, it means there's an awful onus. There's a lot of onus on you to document everything you've done, what your PR will be, what steps should be taken. So you're kind of like, you're removing the barrier for that, but still delivering the end quality we need, which is the good quality PR, the good quality investigation notes. In this case, you're linking it to a good GitHub issue and allowing the ticket to move forward from there.
Yeah.
So, and it's purely on the QC or on the work end of the unit, or does it do any work if you're the QCer?
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't do any of the QC. I
Okay.
think at one point I had to do like scrape and capture the PR because like if I was QCing this and it was somebody else's work, it would probably have their name. So
Mhm.
I had to do this where it would just take this bit and insert my name into it.
Okay. To
Yeah.
be fair, I'm familiar with that one, and it is actually not it's not without its benefits, I think is the best way of putting it. Because when you're running through tickets and you're trying to quickly action them, and like it's another thing about Trilogy, everybody from the top down will work tickets at times to make sure. So it is always one of those ones where you're like, please don't send it as somebody else. Please don't send it as somebody
Yeah,
else.
I know. I
Um,
know.
so yeah, no, that's very good. So in terms of the impact, then, if I look at like this is your metrics, we've obviously no one else's name is there anymore, but this was on the first week that you trialed the system.
Yeah, well, I mean, so because I was actively kind of coding it, and so first I had an incremental increase, I think, over 2 or 3 weeks. But then this one week, I really went postal. I was like, okay, let's like push the pedal to the metal and
Gotcha.
really show what I can do. I mean, it was kind of crazy and intense to do this
Mm-hmm.
because I would just be like, okay, 2 minute timer. All right, I'm doing this ticket in 2 minutes
Gotcha.
max.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, these metrics are work and QC. So I mean, it wasn't even helping with the QC element. So I mean, if it was just worked, you were just isolating your impact on the work units, it would be even higher. So differentially, anyway. But yeah, no, I remember seeing this bar graph and just being like, wow, that's an impactful tool. And so then as you say, it's probably not fully rolled out yet. There are other iterations, I suppose. So this Wingman, you deployed that in December, was it? Would it be?
This was December, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So I
and
mean, go on.
yeah, no, just that I made like an executable so people can run it well without just having like an open code thing. So I made it like an executable for Windows people and rolled it out December. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No, and I know I've seen some people were kind of brought up to speed and using it. I think it's one of those tools where maybe like the person using it would almost want to customize it a little bit to more reflect their style and then deploy. But at the same
That
time,
is true.
were there specific types of products and tickets that it was better at, or was it across the board the same impact?
Right. So can you turn it back a little to the slide which we had before, the one
Yep,
that shows
sure.
the tool? Yeah. I mean, so essentially, this one, I wonder if you can zoom in there, but the one where it says, yeah, on the right panel. So
Uh,
we are asking the dev team to take a look since it's not clear what causes the issue to happen. So that's kind of like the clue that I gave it, right? And I said, okay, send it to engineering, and this is what you should say in the PR. And so essentially, because it's just like it's like a wrapper. It's not really doing anything other than just kind of taking what's in the conversation and just crafting a response around that. So it's kind of good at like just doing any kind of ticket. I guess
okay.
alpha is an exception because I didn't put the DSs for alpha in it yet, and those are just
Yeah.
like completely different. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, and that again comes back to the kind of system we have. We try and keep it as standardized as possible so that all 80 products that we're running through are roughly the same. So that makes sense. And then in terms of like, are there any plans to iterate on it? Am I putting you under pressure now to come up with an iteration on it? Or but like, would you see other use cases for it or how you would add to it?
I had some crazy plans for it. I was like, okay, cool. Let's give it plugins, like let's give it some logic, a little bit of RAG, and like have it do like actual stuff for various products. But I mean, we already have a system for that. What's that? Atlas. And
Mm-hmm.
so like at one point, for like from a company point of view, I'm not sure how useful that would be. But my idea was, okay, let's like at my level, I could make, for example, a plugin, iterate on it, and like get it really good. And while I'm working the tickets, and then I know how I got there. I know what's in the RAG database. I know what I'm feeding it in the prompt. So we could probably like port that over to Atlas and make it work there, because the iteration sometimes just really makes the system good.
Yeah.
Like you never know, like what is gonna spit out. So at one point I was doing like those mergers and acquisitions ticket, and I made an automation for it. And over time, I think I had to put your name in the prompt because sometimes it would mistake you for their target
The
company.
target.
So I'm like, oh, I'm working for Colin Guilfile. Sorry, I don't know
Yeah.
how to pronounce your name properly,
It's
but
it's pretty good. It's better than most.
okay. Can you say it though? How do you say it?
Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I was like, hey, I'm working for Colin Guilfoyle, and now can you please look at this and like say whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the money to buy the companies that we be sending messages to, so definitely not. Cool. Okay. And I mean, yeah, you're right. The iteration and kind of building on it, and it does fit into the kind of longer term. Well, not even longer term. We're doing it now. Those plans to make Atlas usable within our products. So, in other words, when a customer wants a change made, that we could actually affect that change, or if they want a number added, or
Yeah.
and I think that there are a couple of our products that already is live where, oh, I want to change my number associated with this handset. The system can do it. We don't even have to interact. So that makes sense. And I know one of the benefits and one of the things I heard people saying in terms of the way you deployed it was it doesn't sit in Zendesk, because
Mhm.
God knows Zendesk is a resource hog when it comes to a Chrome window and doing anything in it. And we put it under severe pressure anyway with all the plugins. So keeping it separate, even though it was maybe simpler to implement in one way, it also had a lot of performance gain by doing it that way.
Yeah, no API calls also, because
Yeah,
I'm just kind of scraping it with JS. But
yeah.
yeah. So that helps. But yeah, I mean that's all I could do. I was like, hey, what is a list? What is a dictionary? Back in September, because I had no clue.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I suppose building this platform and building this project, and I don't think you've entered any of the Battle of the Bots as of now, but in terms of
Mhm.
the AI first kind of things that we're doing, that we're kind of deploying within the CS team, do you find that they are helping the kind of knowledge when it comes to AI and kind of being better able to use it?
I think it's great, because just with starting with like when you guys got us the ChatGPT subscriptions, I think it was the best thing that could have ever happened because like sometimes you can't really see the butterfly effect to what something like that does, but in a sense, anything that kind of trickles down responsibility to like the people who are working the tickets, I think that helps because somebody might have an idea, they're gonna like try something, try another thing. Somebody might pick that thread up, try another thing, and you don't know where that goes. So
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool to have the AI elite submissions. I think that's a really cool initiative.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, we've featured the Battle of the Bots a couple of times. We haven't gone into the AI Elite ones yet. It is on the cards. But basically, yeah, it's the submission of, if you're at the top 10 places in the leaderboard, you can submit like, how you're using AI, short video. Some people are very long video, but hopefully a short video for those of us who are grading it, and kind of to basically allow us to disseminate that information that's helping you to get to the top of the leaderboard to everybody else, which is how your project ended up getting rolled out to others. Very good. Okay, I think that pretty much covers the product, the rollout. It is, for what seems like on the surface a very simple system, is underneath has kind of delivered so many benefits. So it was a great addition to the L1 tool set. And yeah, looking forward to Wingman version 2. Actually, did I see yours was Wingman version 0.7 or something? We haven't got to 1 yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't dared put 1 on it yet.
Cool. Okay. Looking forward to the rollout of version 1, then version 2. It'll be all good. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. And we'll see everybody in the next episode. Bye now.
Cheers. Bye-bye.